Hey everybody, it's your girl Nici, and we're doing some Reddit stories again. It is episode 6. Way to see you guys. I'm glad you guys came. Let's just get into it. Okay, guys, we're getting right into it. The first account on this r/Bridezilla story has been deleted, unfortunately, but the question posed is, am I the asshole for refusing to go to my best friend's wedding because of her bad attitude towards my girlfriend? I'm a 27-year-old woman, and my fiance, Emily. We have been dating and then recently engaged for the last 2 months. Everyone important, friends and family, knows about us and is happy for us to be finally engaged. At least that's what I thought. Emily has been battling cancer the last few months, and because of chemo, is bald. She really has bad self-esteem and confidence because of it, among other things. Hasn't really left the house since finding out about her diagnosis. A mutual friend of ours was engaged when Emily found out about her diagnosis and was originally asked to be a maid of honor, but now that she's bald, was asked to wear a wig to cover her bald head because it didn't suit her style of photography and she was going for in her wedding. Emily came home crying after looking for bridesmaid dresses after she demanded which wigs to wear by the bride and told me she felt uncomfortable about attending the wedding. Felt this was rude and said to the bride that Emily was uncomfortable with her treatment. Her reply back was that she felt uncomfortable about the bald bridesmaid and that if she didn't wear a wig, she wasn't allowed to attend the wedding. I told her that we both won't be attending the wedding, but now we have left her 2 bridesmaids short a week before the wedding. You're not a butthole for standing up for your partner. That's what you're supposed to do. But the bride does have a right to her aesthetics, and I understand that Emily's self-esteem isn't there. There could have been some type of compromise, like Emily wear a hat, but the bride was just asking for a wig for a couple hours. And I understand that, wigs can be uncomfortable, especially directly on your head. But there are other ways to have gone around saying that. You could wear a wig cap to make it a little bit more cushioned for the wig. You can find a variety of styles. Mind you, the bride is asking for you to be presentable. But Emily also has the right to feel offended. So I don't think there's any assholes here. The bride has the right to ask. And then if she doesn't like the way it looks, she also has the right to be like, I want this look. I want this type of style. I don't think you're an asshole. I don't think the bride is. I just think you guys aren't finding like that middle ground where to meet up. And because you haven't found that middle ground, tensions are high. So no assholes here for me. Let's see what the comments say. This one's easy. Chemo patients have extremely diminished immune systems and probably shouldn't be at a large, crowded event anyways. You and Emily should pull out of this just based on how dangerous it could be for her to attend. So yeah, that's the thought process too. You're not supposed to be. Not the asshole. It's clear that the bride is an asshole. Instead of being supportive of her friend who has cancer and is going through chemo, she only cares about her precious wedding photos. The fact that she believes you're entitled to tell your fiance to wear a wig of the bride's choice. Oh, I didn't realize it was of the bride's choice. No, you are not the asshole. The bride is the asshole. I apologize. If the bride was just like, hey, do you mind wearing a wig? No big deal. But because it's the bride's choice, I'm sorry, I didn't read that correctly. It must have been a wig that made your fiance very upset. But yeah, not the asshole. The bride, again, there needs to be that middle ground, and neither of you met it. But the way the bride went about it was a butthole move. Good for you standing up for your spouse. Okay, guys. So that was the end of the first story. We're gonna go on to the next, and that one is by Present Forever 5090. Should I attend the wedding or not? I'm facing a dilemma about whether I should attend my close friend's wedding. Although we've been friends for 7 years, our relationship has experienced many ups and downs. It's not as strong as it once was. A few months ago, she texted me about her wedding date, but didn't share any further details about the wedding planning. She selected the bridesmaid dress without consulting any of us, and I don't like it at all. About a month ago, she created a group chat to introduce all the bridesmaids. none of them who I've met before. It's a 3-day event, and she expects us to buy themed outfits for each day without any prior discussion. So I texted her privately that I'd be wearing one of the theme colors for her second day event. She was okay with that. But 1 month later, she specified our bridesmaid group chat that she and the groom will be wearing the same color that I had chosen, insisted no one should wear the same colors as her or the groom. This felt very unfair and inconsiderate, and I would have appreciated this decision if she had brought up to me privately. Furthermore, she communicates only through group chats or texts, never calling directly. When I call her, she's often busy with her fiance and promises to call back, but rarely does. She never asks about my life or shows any interest in my updates. I'm planning to attend the last day, third day, of her event, but I don't really feel like attending the first 2 days of her event, mainly because the outfits she chose without considering her choices and giving the scenarios her doing. Am I wrong on this? While I genuinely wish her the best on her big day, I felt it is unfair to those of us who care. So for bachelorette events, usually they're themed, and sometimes they're themed, sometimes they're not, and usually the group gets together. The fact that it's all just the bride, it's the bride doing this, bride doing that, bride doing that. It does sound like she's very busy, so her not calling you back is kind of fair. But if she's a friend, she would still want to talk to you on the phone and have those conversations. I don't think you're wrong. I also don't think the bride is in the wrong, depending on how busy she is. I have no idea, because I'm only seeing your side. You have every right to say, no, I'm not going to be your bridesmaid, but I can attend your wedding. I really think the best solution for you is probably to attend the wedding, but maybe, like you said, or just attend one of the bachelorette dates, it seems like. But I would probably drop from a bridesmaid to maybe a guest, just so that way, and do it with enough time for her to find somebody else to place in your place or whatever. But I really think maybe because you guys aren't as close as you used to be, and the communication isn't as strong for your taste or liking, that you should maybe not attend as a bridesmaid, but just as a guest. But that's entirely up to you. Other than that, it doesn't seem completely unreasonable, especially if the bride is planning everything and no one's really helping her out, that she's just like, hey, I can text you, I have that 30 seconds to have that back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Because when you text, you can do so many things, but when you call somebody, it's harder to do all of that. It's harder for me to hold my phone, or let me go find my AirPods, and click, open, put them in. Okay, now let's have a conversation. Now my attention's on you, but not where it should be, like picking out decorations or whatever. And if she's doing it all by herself, then that's going to be really difficult for her. Okay, let's see what some of the comments go. I'm sorry, but you care more for her than she cares for you. This mess of a wedding is only going to get worse. I'd back out depending on how she acts, and you can go as a guest, although I doubt you'll get an invitation unless she thinks you'll bring an expensive gift. Attending a wedding is very different from being a member of the wedding party. You don't say how long it is until the wedding, but if it's not in the immediate future, you can tell her that you need to withdraw from the wedding party, but would still like to be a guest. You can tell her that you have some unexpected drain in your savings, can't afford to support her in the way she deserves, or you can't get a sufficient vacation time, or you're into singing Elios, whatever you need. If she hasn't had time to chat, she won't know. Just don't tell any lie that a mutual friend may accidentally out you on. I wouldn't lie. I'd just say, hey, you seem to have a really set look and set idea for your wedding. I don't feel like I can fit that aesthetic, so I'm going to respectfully step down, and I hope that you can find someone else who can fill that spot for you. It's simple. You don't have to lie. You don't have to bring up her behavior, but just say your aesthetic isn't what I can fulfill. And it's really easy. It's really simple. Don't overreact. Don't lie. It's not worth lying. But yeah, that's it for this Bridezilla story. On to the next. Bestie turned Bridezilla. This is by PCTZ Survivor. My friend is a Bridezilla. For context, myself, 28 female, and the bride, 28 female, have been friends since college. Graduated in 2018. We live relatively far apart, planes needed, and see each other about once or twice a year, usually for large reunions with groups of friends. Bride has always been on the higher strung side, but also a good friend. She decided to get married in Italy, no relation. She's a Cuban American, at a villa outside of Rome. I was asked to be a bridesmaid and said yes, of course, knowing it would be a big financial ask, but hoping to make the most of it. The villa was rented. The villa rented was an Airbnb. Price of stay was not mentioned throughout the asking to be bridesmaids, booking flights, etc. Later, via invitation, found out we were to Venmo the bride. I know a bridesmaid who asked directly and was told not to tell others that they had to pay prior to invite. She also discussed having a more affordable bachelorette party like at a family beach home, but ended up choosing Miami with all the bridesmaids flying and paying to stay, boat, etc. Trip included a very strict dress code which required putty skirts and dresses and high heels. This made me really uncomfortable as I'm a chapstick lesbian and the largest girl in the bride's crew. I don't wear dresses and I especially do not wear short things. I planned to attend the bachelorette but called her about a month before to cancel due to the finances and after mentioning the dress code. Also, I'm getting married this year and a social worker. She seemed annoyed but understanding. She did request that I still pay, ending up eating about $1,000. I was asked to change my bridesmaid dress multiple times, which left me with 100 plus non-refundable dress. I don't wear dresses. Now we get to Italy for our stay at the villa, and much of the time that has been bring your own BYOB, bring your own beer, including pre-rehearsal dinner. No lunch has been provided for the bridesmaids' day of getting ready, and general Bridezilla antics as we scolded for not doing the things her way. I have barely spoken to her this trip. Feel so underappreciated after traveling across the world and spending about 1 month's salary on this wedding. She has also specifically mentioned several times that our wedding is so much cheaper than mine because it's abroad, getting married in Washington, D.C., where I live, which bothers me given the financial stress I know this has put on her entire bridal party. I hate this wedding has basically sorry. I know this part of entire bride. I hate that this wedding has basically made me not want to be her friend anymore. But I also feel like this is insane, not normal behavior. Your friend could be stressed out, which is very reasonable. But it also sounds like you and your friend are on different pages right now. She's in this fantasy of being a bride and everything that comes with it. And you're very much like, reality check, that costs money. And you're checking and checking and checking. You're like, oh, all this money. And you're like, I'm staying stateside. I'm just asking a few people to come, like, whatever your wedding looks like. But it seems like she wants her day her way, and sometimes Bridezillas be like that. I don't think you're in the wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong. But if you stand up for yourself, you could also be dismissed from a wedding. But I think because it's already happened, then there's not much you can do. You're seeing a different side of your friend. It's always existed, but it's up to you if you like that side. And if you don't like that side, you, like everybody else, has the right to end that relationship. Don't let your relationship with this bride be the reason why you're unhappy forever. Your bride is somewhat of a priority, but she's not all the priority. And I hope that you realize that you're in different places and your bride doesn't understand that, and you understand the sacrifices and the hard work and the effort that you put into being there for your friend. I don't think your friend appreciated it, but at the end of the day, if you don't like the way she's acting, she's going to act like this again when she has a baby or so on and so forth. Big major events that follow her. She's like, oh, I got away with it as a bride, I can do it again. But yeah, this side has always existed in your friend. It's just now you see it. So yeah, good luck. Hope everything works out for you. On to the next story. Oh, this one's really short. It's by Primary Tart 1315. Mother-in-law gift for the wedding. I'm getting married next week, and my fiance wants to get his parents a gift for the wedding when they have not contributed anything financially or nor anything about the wedding. My thoughts are, if you want to be a guest, then you'll be treated like any other guest. It's not about the no money given towards the wedding, but lack of interest until the day of, where she will want our photographer to take pictures of her and her friends at the wedding. I'm torn because I like her and have no issues, but she's been irking me through the wedding planning. It seems like your mother-in-law wants the day to be about her without any planning going into, without her having to stress out or anything. But the photographer is your photographer. You're paying your photographer. So you can sit down and have hey, I have a mother-in-law. I want her to have a picture with her and the groom, her and, her side of the family, and then some candid photos here and there. But I am paying you to take the pictures that I want of my wedding. So I want you to take some candids of everybody in the wedding, including my mother-in-law. I want you to take, specific candids of me and the groom talking to our guests. Again, also including my mother-in-law. I want, my wedding party pictures to be X, Y, and Z. And just make sure you're sitting down and have that conversation. If she wants the toast to be about her, sit down to the couple people that are having toast. Hey, I want you to do this toast. Please make sure to remember that it's about me and my husband. You can give funny anecdotes about the family, whatever. But again, the day is about me and my husband. The caterer, just make sure the caterer knows. Food gets served first to the bride and groom in the separate room, if that's what you're doing, or at the table, so that we can eat, because we know if we don't eat, we're going to get lightheaded, whatever, more drunk, whatever. But, state your wants and needs. Don't let your mother-in-law walk all over you. Now, a gift for his parents, make it an equal opportunity. If you're gifting something to his parents, you should give something to your parents. And I wonder if the gift isn't about the financial contribution, but more the fact that, he's like, these are my parents. They gave me life and the values that I have. And the reason I am the way I am today, marrying you, this lovely bride, is because of the fact that my parents raised me this way. So I don't know if that's a Bridezilla thing, and it's definitely not a Motherzilla thing. I think it's just more of your fiance is appreciating his parents. Now, I would appreciate his parents a little bit more too if they chipped in, but hey, it's to each our own. But I don't really think there's nothing wrong here. But again, just make sure you lay down boundaries with the people that are participating in your wedding, taking care of photos, food, so on and so forth. Because if you don't put your foot down, then she's gonna rock that show. And there's a way to do that, if she wears white, having, the best friend spill the red wine, just little things, little caveats, all that stuff. But I don't really think the gift is because of helping or financial benefits, but more of the fact that he really appreciates his parents. So let's scroll down and see your comments. First person said, get her a decentish picture frame that she can put a wedding picture in. It appears thoughtful but doesn't cost that much, and it makes your fiance happy. Ross, TJ, Max, Home Sense, Home Goods, Target, Walmart. Get a frame and, a nice little pretty frame that you can put a wedding picture in. That's definitely decent. Do the Japanese thing. Give a bouquet of flowers to both your mothers or sets of parents during the speeches with a few words of thanks for having raised you. You can each either thank your own parents or thank the other person's parents for raising the person you marry, sort of for asking for their support in the future. That's good. Yeah, I like that. Speak to your photographer ahead of time. I'd guess pull that, make this my portrait studio at the reception before we arrived, and put it in the photo in a bad mood for the rest of the night. It also kept him from taking photos of our actual reception during that, wore out his patience. Warn your photographer that no one's allowed to direct him around except for you, unless you want to name someone else you trust, or even warn them that mother-in-law is possibly doing that. As a gift, have your fiance choose it, or I like the photo frame idea that Frolic in Detour said. So something small that's related to the wedding is a great gift for mom. Definitely do both parents include something for both your moms, because it look a little uneven if mom 1 got one but mom 2 didn't, and you don't want to start that fight. But overall, just something small. It doesn't have to be something big, just something showing your appreciation. And yeah, make sure that, the guests aren't taking over your photographer. Okay. And the last story, by Wing Dog Goose. Are these reasonable requests from the bride? I have been friends with the groom since we were teenagers. He now spends a lot of time gaming with my spouse. The bride and I aren't really that close, but are friends due to our relationship with the groom. They decided to get married, and she initially asked me to be the maid of honor, but also asked several other girls. Now I'm just thankfully a bridesmaid. My spouse is also in the wedding party. For the dress, she requested everyone wear different colors and fabrics of her choosing from a website. She changed her mind multiple times, so I had to order and return it several times. I didn't really expect it, but she also making us buy specific shoes, which won't even be seen under the floor-length dresses, and jewelry. I don't wear this type of stuff often, and I don't wear this color ever, so all of this is going to be a one-time use only. My spouse has told me he had to buy a specific suit, shoes, tie, and shirt. None of this was discussed beforehand, and that financial responsibility was never even considered. The groomsmen are clothing is also a one-time use only, as my spouse doesn't dress up, but maybe every few years, and the shoes, shirt, and tie are all unique. Here's the breakdown of our costs so far. Bridesmaid's dress is $280 a bridesmaid. Shoes are $80. The jewelry are $300. The Airbnb for the bridesmaids are $300. The groomsmen's suit is $600. Groomsmen's shoes are $150. Groomsmen's tie is $85. Groomsmen's shirt is $75. Groomsmen's Airbnb is $400. And they have an airfare on top of that, which is $1,000. Okay, so for the bridesmaid, you are, let's see, 360, 660, 960. So $960 relatively for the bridesmaid. And then the grooms are, let's see, $600 for a suit. Okay, do you? There are other ways to get that same look with not expensive, but cool, whatever. 600, 750, 8. Let's see, our mascaras, 835. Let's see, I got it. 135, 905. So $1,800 roughly, and $1,800 roughly. Add another 400. That's $2,200, $3,200 for the. The money. $3,000 tax. I see no tax, so add the tax, and then the stress. $4,000 and some stress. Okay, I'm just shocked how specific everything is, and it's all for the perfect picture. We are unable to use these things we already have because the stuff they want is unique. I've tried to reason with her, but she's not even considering the fact that we aren't made of money. I'm pretty ready just not to see or speak to either of them ever again. Is this a reasonable request for someone to make? It's reasonable for the bride to ask for a certain aesthetic or whatever, and it's reasonable for the groom to ask for a certain aesthetic or whatever. But you also have the right to step down out of the wedding. You can always arrive as a guest, and if you arrive as the guest, then you will be in whatever you choose, whatever you can come with. And you'll probably just pay for, a hotel room or an Airbnb, depending on what you want, and the airfare. And, pitch in here and there, get them a nice gift, whatever. You have the choice to step down as a bridesmaid and attend only as a guest. If you feel uncomfortable, then have a private conversation with the bride. But your husband also has the right to do the same thing when it comes to the groom's party. So don't think that when someone asks you, you have to stay in that party. I'm asking you as a favor to me, do you want to be part of my party? You're unavailable to do it. I apologize. Thank you for, letting me know in advance. I'm going to, make it work out. Thank you. Do you want to attend as guest? That should be the bride's response. If that's not the bride's response, then yes, do not go to that wedding. If she's flipping out, People have the right to request no after spending all this money. Now, if you've already spent all this money, go, because then it's definitely a waste of money. Um, Especially if they're usually like one-time uses. But do remember, even though if you use them one time, if you dry clean and get the things professionally cleaned, you get them. You can sell them for um, lightly used clothes, and people will buy them. There's always someone out there who's looking for them. So don't take it as you're never gonna get all your money back. You won't get the Airbnb or the airfare back, but you could definitely get the jewelry money by selling the jewelry. You can definitely get the shoes money by selling the shoes. It might not be all the money paid for it, but you could get some money back. Okay, yes and no. The things, dress, shoes, suit aren't surprising. The cost is pretty surprising though, especially the jewelry. 2 times I required to wear specific jewelry. The bride gave it as a bridesmaid gift. Did you know what? Did you know the wedding would involve travel? I did. I live out of state. I didn't want. No, the requirement was stay Airbnb for both of us. We were planning to stay with a family while there. Ew. No. I probably would have said no to the Airbnb. Did they already book it? Yep, they booked it and told everyone they owe X amount of money before X date. Yikes, so they booked it without asking for it. I would be upset about that. Yeah, that's out of line. If the bride insists that everyone stay together, they have to pay. Not pretending they're doing everyone a favor by taking care of the accommodations. Yeah, that this bride has gone to the edge, and so again, you have the right to step down. Um, And then, yeah, this person's right. I would decline to be in the bridal party at this prices. I would have handled, if I was handed an itemized list with the prices without prior budget discussions, I'm going to walk away. This isn't even including the cost of pre-wedding events. So yeah, you don't. It's not talking about the bachelorette party, which she'll probably want you to spend X amount of money. The brides might have, and then the grooms have their last night single party. Because I know the girls call it a hen party, the bachelor party. I don't know why it was so hard, but like, you have that, and then if you're high enough on the tier of bridesmaid, they might want you to go tasting, and there's travel for that, and this and this and that. Yeah. And then you also have to give a wedding gift. So, if you're not made of money, step down. If you, especially since that seems to be your biggest thing, is how much this costs. This wasn't discussed with you, therefore, you should have some form of say of, no, I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for considering me. No, thank you. Thank you. I love that you love me, but your prices don't love me. So unfortunately, I have to save my wallet. I'm still gonna come to your wedding. I'm still gonna get you, the usual gift. Da 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 da. But I have this amazing X color dress that's, I look cute but not too cute because you're the bride, and so therefore you should look the best. But yeah, don't ever think that you are forced to be in a situation where you are required to, what's the word I'm looking for? You're never required to be in a wedding. You're never required to have those things. Um, you always have the, ability within a reasonable amount of time. Like, if you're not going to be able to do X, Y, and Z, cancel a month in advance because of budget, list. You have the right to step down from being a bridesmaid or a groomsman. You have the right to say, hey, that's out of my budget. I understand you're going for aesthetic, but we have to work here. I will meet you in the middle, but if we can't, unfortunately, I will be your guest because I can't obviously afford that. But there are alternatives to all things. Is you can sell them for lightly used if you get them dry cleaned properly, and there's always going to be someone out there who might buy it. So don't take that L. Don't think you're on the edge, but she's a little bit of a bridezilla, just a little bit. These bridezillas weren't extreme or crazy to me. I've been married, so that might be it. But like, these aren't extreme cases. I've seen a lot more 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 tantrums from the brides. Um, Sorry, my brain wasn't functioning, and I said it right and just didn't get it. But These brides are demanding and they want their way, and you have to put your foot down. Mother-in-law trying to get her gift, put your foot down and say, that's nice, but I'm also gonna get my mom a gift. Make it even. Most of these themes are like, should I continue in the wedding because my bride is weird? And the answer is you don't have to. That's entirely up to you. But keep it 100, keep it real. There's nothing you can do in this world that you're going to be forced to do unless someone has a gun to your head. And this bride don't yet. So tip while you have the chance. Okay, bye. But yeah, this is Bridezillas at their best or their worst or whatever. But thank you guys sticking around with me. Thank you for having